Hi guys, it's Amy and I'm actually here today to have a little rant, have a little bit of a fiery discussion because I'm not a very angry person. I wouldn't say I was an angry person, but there are little things in life that really get me ticked off very, very quickly. And one of these particular topics has come up recently about my future and people thinking that they have the right to comment on my future. And I know that a lot of people who have previously suffered from mental health problems will probably understand where I'm coming from here. People who think that they have the right to lecture you on what you should be doing. Even if you haven't had a mental health problem, actually, you probably get this. And so I just wanted to talk about it and how you should let things like that bother you, and how your future is your own decision, and things about your future. It's going to be a very future orientated video today, so I hope you're prepared. The past couple of weeks, obviously I've been, as you guys know, I've got a new job, and so it means I'm meeting a lot of new people every single day. And this isn't just customers, this is just general colleagues, and because my store that I work in was undergoing a massive refit, we had so many people coming in from other stores, and it meant that I had to interact with a lot of people. And obviously if you're with somebody for so long, they start to become interested in things in your life, which is fine to a certain extent. The first question I normally get asked is my age. Obviously I'm 19. The second question that I usually get asked is whether I'm in university, to which I then have to explain to them that I haven't gone to university yet, and I'm going to university in October. To which they then look at me and say, oh, so you took a year out then? And I don't know why things like that bother me, because surely if I'm going to university at 19, that's my own decision. That's something that I've personally myself made, even though obviously for me it was due to my mental health problems. But it kind of has nothing to do with that person asking why I took all that time out, especially an absolute stranger. And they automatically receive the idea that, number one, that you're lazy, number two, that you can't be bothered with education, and so you've taken time out, and number three, that I've only just got my job now, so obviously it may look like to them that I've spent a whole year doing nothing. Things like that that really portray the wrong impression. The next question that I get asked is about the university that I'm going to, if I go, and what subject I'm going to be studying. And when I tell them the subject I'm going to be studying, they immediately scowl and say things like, oh well, you're probably not going to get very far with that then, are you? What are your plans afterwards? If I was studying something like medicine, no one would even bat an eyelid. Because I'm studying something that is not a science, people immediately presume that, number one, I had nothing better to do, number two, that I have no career plans or life plans, and number three, that I'm not intelligent. And it's just people who think that they have the right to comment on my life when they have no idea about my life, what I've been through, my past history, my history of mental health problems, which have all contributed in some way to the decisions that I have made today in my life. And that they have the right to then judge me because of that. And obviously I can't come out and just be like, well, actually this happened a couple of years ago, this is why I've made these decisions, here you go. I can't just say things like that, especially not at work, so I kind of have to bite my tongue. But I'm actually going to be talking today about what to do when people bring up things like this, and about taking time out to do education because people are going to be judgmental, you know, all that kind of thing. Things such as education, there's such a stigma because people always say things like, you know, you do school up until you're 18 and then you go on to university, and for some reason we've all got it in our heads that everyone's lives have to be like that you have to go to school until you're 18 and you go straight to university, do 3 years at university or 5 years, whatever, if you're doing medicine, continue, and in life you get a really, really good job, and then you get married, have kids. And you know what, some people have the general public's lives into a nutshell, but unfortunately things don't really happen like that. Things happen in our lives, things happen called life changes, and sometimes things don't run as smoothly as that. You know, for me, obviously you guys know I took a lot of time out and had to come back and redo the year, and obviously that means that I'm 19 and going to university. Was I concerned with that at the beginning? Yes, probably. I was very, very, very reluctant to take time out of education. Myself being an obsessive compulsive person and having a massive perfectionist nature, I was kind of like, no, I need to stay, I need to do my education. That's the most important thing. But unfortunately, you know, some people do need that rest and that time out, and that is exactly what I needed, and that is what I did. And to be honest, if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have made some of the life decisions that I've made today that people are actually judging me for. What I wanted to say mainly was that you shouldn't let the system of education prevent you from doing what you need to do in your recovery. If you need to take time out and if you need to take rest for you, then do it. Education can wait. Seriously, like people go to university sometimes at 85, and then some people may decide that they don't think university is right for them. You don't even have to go to university to be successful, because a lot of people already have that drive within them to be successful. And I know that actually from a lot of people who have mental health problems, they already have that drive to recover. And so, you know, to be honest, if you have a drive and you have a vision to be successful, then you're going to be successful no matter what university you go to, what you study, or, you know, anything like that. And so I firmly believe that letting life kind of take its course and doing what you need to do for your health at the time is the most important thing, rather than saying, I must go to university at 18, I must do a degree, then I must do a master's, and I must do this in my life, because life changes all the time. Nothing is ever set in stone. And that is why when people say to me, well, what are you going to do with that degree? I then say, do you know what? I don't know. Because I don't. Like a few years ago, about 4 years ago, I wanted to go into counselling. And I still do. And I still have a very strong dream in going into counselling and helping people. But I often find that I'm not ready at this point in my life to do that yet. Hence why I then changed my degree and I changed my complete perspective on things and decided that I was going to go into counselling and therapy and the field of psychology in general a lot later on in my life. And that's really, really tough to explain to people, because they don't understand why I want to do it a lot later on in my life. So they then proceed to judge me when I then say, well, actually, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do in my life at the moment. I'm kind of taking it as it comes. And for some reason, people are so harsh. Well, you don't know what you want to do at 19. And it's like, no, I don't. And to be honest, like I don't know any 19-year-old who knows what they want to do 100% set out in stone in their life. I don't think anybody, no matter how old you are, should know what you want to do with your life, because life changes so often. Things happen, like, you know, people meet, people get into relationships, and, you know, even living situations. Like if I hadn't met Nathan, I probably would still be living in London for the rest of my life. But I know that in a few years' time, I'm probably not going to be living in London anymore. I'm going to be living somewhere else, because that's just the way that my life's panned out. And so obviously that means I'll be getting a job somewhere else. And things change, and I don't think that, you know, if you're suffering from a mental health problem and you think, oh no, but I now can't go to university and I can't do this with my life and I can't do that with my life, you need to stop and just say, you need to let life take its course and not be concerned about the future. You need to be concerned about the present and your health and your well-being and what you need to do to be content with yourself, because health is the most important thing. It's what you're born with, and it's what you need to function, and it's what you need to complete those education, your GCSEs, your A-levels, you know, your degree. It's what you need to be a person. It's what you need to be a fully functioning person. If you don't have that health, then it's going to be really, really difficult for you to even have a future, which is why you need to put it first. Some things in life, actually, it just seems right. You need to go with your heart, because I know with me, the degree that I'm going to be doing, I went with my heart rather than going with, oh, well, I'm predicted these grades, I'm going to go to a university with these grades. I'm actually applying to a university with the grades a lot lower than what I've been predicted. But it felt right for me, it felt comfortable, it felt safe for me. And it's not about other people's opinions, it's about what you want to do in that space of time, and what is right for you, what is right for your health, and what is right for your well-being. And I really need to stress that. I don't really think I'm upset with the comments that people have been making about my degree and my future. I'm more angry, which is obviously why I've been sitting here ranting about it for a good 6-7 minutes. I'm angry that people clearly don't understand that life doesn't run smoothly. Life does have twists and turns in the road, and not everyone has to fall within the system of education, university and work, and that's okay. Whatever you want to do is fine. And people don't understand that nowadays for some reason. We're apparently still trapped in the old times, which is ridiculous, because obviously mental health unfortunately is on the rise. Physical health, there's more diseases coming around than ever before, and things happen to other people, and things happen. We need to be aware of them and do what needs to be best for us at the time. If that means taking a year, 2 years out of education, then so be it. Does it matter really in the long term? You're looking after yourself, and that is ultimately the number one main priority that you should be concerned with. And that's really kind of what I wanted to stress today, because I don't really understand what gives people the right to feel that they can make comments about my life when they don't know anything about me, my life, or what I've been through, and the experiences that I've had that have made me come to these life decisions. I've actually made probably more important decisions in my life than a lot of the people asking me these questions, because I have had already so much life experience. At the age of 19, I have been through so much, which has taught me so much about the world and everything that I live in, everything that I stand for. And I know in my heart of hearts the decisions I'm making are right, and even if you're not entirely sure, then you'll figure it out somehow. And things often come into your life and they'll tell you things, and things steer you in the right direction. And some people, it may take longer than others, but you will get there, and you'll find a place where you're like, you know what, I'm probably content with things now. And maybe it wasn't what I originally set out to do, but that's fine. I'm just frustrated that people think that I must do what the system tell me to do, and that really bugs me. And also, people have this assumption that because I'm young, I don't know what I'm doing, I haven't been through anything, I haven't had any life experience. And what's even more frustrating is that I probably had more life experience than these people, and yet obviously I can't say that to them because I'm in a working environment, and I have to just kind of smile and nod and say, oh yeah, of course, because I'm young and I don't know anything, when actually I probably know far more than they do about life. And I actually think that's more important than getting a degree in anything. If you have the life experience and you know what it's like to live in the real world with real problems and have real experiences that happen to you, sometimes it's actually more important than having a first class honours degree in fucking medicine. Breathe. I know that there's been a few things on Twitter and Facebook recently where people have been saying that they're not entirely sure what they want to do with their lives because it may interrupt with this, and that they've already taken so long to try and to do a degree, and then they decided it wasn't really for them, but they were already 21 and they're going into university. That's fine. That's really, really fine. Take life at your own pace. Not everyone has to be rushing at the speed of lightning, doing GCSEs and A-levels and degrees, and sticking to the system. It's not fair. People are different. We're all unique. We're all individual. We all want to do our own things, and that's fine. And we all have our own problems that we have to cope with individually, and that is perfectly fine. And just ignore the people who say things like that to you, because it's clearly they're being judgmental because they have no idea what is going on in your life. And sometimes I do just want to let rip and just be like, look, yeah, this is what's happened in my life, and this is why I've come to these decisions today. But then I think, what on earth has it got to do with you? Really? It doesn't have anything to do with them. And I just think, go with your dreams, live in the present. Please do not care what anyone else thinks, because whatever happens, you're the person who's going to be going through it all at the end of the day, and so you are the most important person in your recovery. You need to make the right decisions for yourself and not for anybody else. And I'm going to leave you with that today, and I don't actually think that made any sense, but I kind of, when you get twitches to make a video, you just kind of like this. Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing. Before I end this video, I just want to say hi to a very, very special person in my life who knows who he is, because I'm probably going to email him later and tell him. who's feeling very pessimistic about recovery from depression at the moment. And obviously I have a lot of people who I know who are feeling very pessimistic about recovery, but unfortunately he's one of the people that I know in my life who he deserves to recover more than anybody. He has been such an inspirational person in my life and in many other people's lives. He's helped me through so much, and I can't actually think of anyone who deserves recovery more. And so I just wanted to kind of send this spoken message out to him, maybe hoping that he may kind of know how awesome he is and how much of a difference he has made and how much he needs to just keep fighting, because he can do it. Most definitely. And yeah, you're awesome, and yeah, that's basically it, I think. It just really saddens me when people who I love so much are still struggling with this. And I cannot say, I'm actually going to make a video about small relapses in a few weeks, because I actually had a massive panic attack about a week ago, to which I was almost taken to hospital. So it kind of does prove that, you know, I have fallen back in some stages, but at the same time, you know, I am at a place where I'm content, and it saddens me to think that there are some people that aren't content, and I really still want to keep helping them, and I want to keep reminding them that they can do it, and that they are strong, and that they are wonderful, and that they're amazing people, because they are. So yeah, and to that person, you're amazing. Please keep fighting. Don't ever give up, because you're worth it, and that goes to all of you as well. Okay, I hope that video made a little bit of sense. If it doesn't, I'm so sorry. I will be back soon, probably some point this week, because I'm working afternoon shifts, so I can record in the morning, which is nice. So yeah, I will speak to you very soon. Bye!